I had to come and see Robert and had my interview with Robert, and straight away I think we got on quite well from there. Initially we were talking about the sword fighting styles of the Vikings, and it's something I studied, as well as various other different skills. But and that was what the initial part of it. And obviously then once I've gone through the script and read that, I like the authenticity of it. I just come from other big films as well, which I thoroughly enjoyed, but it was nice to get to something a little bit true and a little bit heavy and gritty, you know. I knocked off the cobwebs of various things for Viking-style fighting and stuff like that, because we all get used to swinging great big axes and smashing down walls with big, mainly big weapons, but actually the blades weren't quite that heavy, and and the fighting style itself was there's more finesse to it. There's things with the shields, rather than just banging onto the shield as protection, you use them to push the blade away and to deflect it. It's very much like fencing. So that was good. So I went back and went to look over that. I've been throwing lightsabers around for 3 years, so it's nice for me to work again with the heavier steel. We was involved with Robert quite a bit. Normally we do previews of fights and then we show Robert, but we were literally upstairs from him. So he would come up and look at a fight as well and get involved with it as well. So that was one of the most enjoyable parts of it, because then you're not barking up the wrong tree or running down the wrong road. It's the boss is there and he's come to see it. And he made changes as well. I'd quite like this, quite like that. Obviously then we start training with our actors, and you have to work to their ability. On this film, there's only one camera, so to get your cuts in there is very, very difficult. And so that was a process for me to learn as well. There's no cheats, I'm using my actor. For some scenes, we spend quite a bit of time prepping the actors, ready for the scenes, like for the fight scene. Claes worked very, very hard. He would come in 3-4 times a week for a couple of hours with the guys and work with those. And Alex, whenever we could get him, because he was obviously so busy, and unfortunately because we closed down for a while, we'd already been training, but it was quite a big gap. And then it was a case we was up and running, so we grabbed him when we could. And they tend to, with Alex's, tend to land one on top of the other. So I didn't want to teach him something which is, before we taught him something else, so we can clear his mind and we move on. But he picked up a lot of stuff quite quickly. And you bear in mind that these are the actors and you watch them move, so you try and put the fights to suit them, not to suit your stuntman or some guy who's amazing with it, because it won't be them on the day. So it's their fight. So that was important. But they also went off and did horse riding and various other stuff. And obviously they were training, training probably 4 or 5 times a week as well, because they're fit guys, they put a lot of muscle mass on, and yeah, so they've been working. We had a gym here, they had a private gym elsewhere. Part of our sword fighting and our fighting lessons, but it's a big workout as well. So yeah, it's not easy on the guys or the ladies. We've had our ladies come in and do fights as well. Working with Robert was an education for me. I really got on well with him. I think I did anyway. We had some fun, some good times, and some head-scratching times together. And I did learn a lot from him, from a side which I don't overlook, but I'm not that interested in so much. It might be a bit too hearty for me or two, but I really got into it and really enjoyed it, and he educated me with things like, why is he doing this in the story? And well, that's what everybody would expect him to do. So not everything is expected or corny as what we think. So there was a big mind process in it as well, and he would involve me quite a bit with things which don't have nothing to do with stunts, but it would help me with the flavour for later on. So he was a clever man with that, the governor. No, he was a dream to work with.